I just think you get to a certain age where you want to leave a bigger imprint than maybe the one you've left.
Hello, dear listeners. It's that time again when we stroll through the paths of ambition, desire, and success. Welcome to the Dare to Declare podcast, where we explore the enchanting world of giant manifestors who turn their visions and goals into the stuff of legends. I couldn't help but wonder, how do some people create the lives they've always dreamed of? Is it the magic of manifesting, the power of perseverance, or perhaps just a dash of serendipity? Well, dear friends, grab your coffee cups because we're about to spill the tea on fascinating journeys of those who dare to dream big and make it happen. Join me as we sip on success stories and ponder the ever-enticing question, can we all manifest our dreams into reality, or is it just an urban fairy tale? I'm your host, Debbie Sluice, and I'm here to guide you through the labyrinth of achievement with heart and soul. Ready to dare to declare? Let's get started. Hello, it's your host, Debbie Sluice, and today our guest is a New England-based interior designer, Kimberly Levin. She's led her own firm, Verve Design, for the past 17 years and recently launched Bespokle, an American-made curated collection of customizable, monogrammed, live-edge dining tables. Bespokle tables are designed to embody your signature brand and celebrate your legacy. With this new venture, Kimberly is on a mission to create one-of-a-kind, distinctive tables that honor our authentic selves, our families, our businesses, and legacies we are crafting. In an era that is so externally centric, Kimberly is on a soul-based mission to unapologetically shift our focus and appreciation towards our own unique brands. Those legacies we are curating in our hearts and minds are truly worthy heritage to be celebrated and honored. I am super excited that you're here today, Kimberly. Welcome. Okay, so the first question I have for you is, as I was reading through your bio, and I was like, oh my gosh. And yesterday we were on a mastermind together, and one of our colleagues was asking us, what not to wear or what to wear based on her brand. And then I was like, oh my goodness, like, I think that if I was listening to this podcast right now and I'd be like, ask Kimberly this, like, what's a hot trend right now and what's not? What's kind of gone? So coming into 2025.
Coming into 2025, I feel like the sense of authenticity that I am espousing is actually something that's very relevant and across all sorts of style streams, if you will, whether it's in your home or whether it's in your wardrobe. I think right now it's about finding your authentic voice and being authentic to yourself and whatever that means. And that's the whole premise of the mission behind Bespokle, but it's also how we present ourselves. And it's whether it's using authentic materials or whether it's using things that speak to us on a very personal level. I feel like authenticity is in. I mean, it's even in an Instagram now. It's like that's what's trending on Instagram. That's where we're heading collectively, I think, as a body of people. And so I think that's really what's important, is to live in your own skin and find your own value and present that unapologetically.
Amazing. I love that. And that leads me into asking you about your products. So the Oprah table.
Yes.
So you mentioned that, and we talked about this in your bio, that you have a interior design company, and then now you've launched another company called Bespokle, which is the curated collection of customizable, monogrammed, live edge dining tables.
Yeah.
And so I'm so curious, what's an Oprah table?
Oh, well, that was kind of funny. So I was telling you my mission and the whole sentiment behind me launching this is I wanted to develop a line of furniture that celebrated your authentic self and that reminded you to look internally and be proud of what you're building, whether you're a business or whether it's your family or whether you're an individual. We all have a reason to celebrate who we are. And so I've been building this company for the last 18 months, and I've been on this mission to kind of distract ourselves from all the external focus and the endless finger scrolling to look for how we should be and how we should dress our homes and how we should dress ourselves, and to really look inward and find what resonates with you on a soul level, celebrate that. And the tables for me are sort of like a signature crest where you look at that and you've got that daily reminder that you're celebrating yourself and it's about what you're doing and not about what's on the external. And so that was sort of the general premise of what I wanted to do in this next chapter of my career, and have a more meaningful sort of fourth act, if you will, in these final years of working. And so I was driving actually to hot yoga and I had about 5 minutes left of a podcast. I'm a huge fan of Jamie Curran Lima, and she wrote this amazing, beautiful book called Worthy. And it just, every person, man or woman, should read this book. It's incredible. But anyways, she started a podcast, and her first two podcasts was a dual episode with Oprah. And I had listened to it on my walks or whatever, and I had about 5 minutes left, and I was driving to yoga frantically to get there on time, and I had the last 5 minutes, and I'm listening to it, and I nearly drove off the road because I heard Oprah make a statement that was, in essence, my company's mission. And she basically said that, it's all being lost to the egos, and that we have to it's all about the sense that we're living externally and that our value is something that is outside of ourselves and that we're not looking inward. So, when you hear the one and only Oprah say something, it resonates. And so for me, it was like a little God wink that told me that I'm on the right path with what I'm doing and I'm manifesting the right dream here. And then I think what I can contribute with my own professional zone of genius and what I've done for 35 years, married with my personal love of, human potential development, and taking those two together to create a product that helps people and businesses and families, celebrate the right things. And Oprah basically said that. So I was very excited. I got all a little moment of inspiration. So then I promptly went home and designed an Oprah table. And it was a double O pedestal. And of course, she spoke a lot about the color purple and its relevance of authenticity, but also because of her connection, obviously, to the color purple. And she came out in 2023 with the new movie and everything. So I decided to do the color purple table and developed a double O pedestal and tricked it out in Oprah purple. And so that was my Oprah table. And then I just sort of had some fun with Instagram and wrote a little message about it. But so that was just my little, it's kind of fun with this because we can color code the tables. They're all personalized. I have 30 colors. So there's a lot of fun we can have with them. And there's 18 epoxy colors if you choose to have epoxy, and there's inlay colors. So there's a lot we can do with it. And so it's kind of fun sometimes to get a little inspiration from our thought seekers and then, celebrate them.
For sure. Okay, I got a couple of questions. I'll come back to the tables and the colors, but I'm curious, what made you take the leap from being the interior designer, and you were like, I think you were in the Boston area, right? Like, so
Connecticut and Boston,
yeah.
Massachusetts, mostly Connecticut. I had moved back to Boston a few years ago. So
So I would imagine that you're probably designing more kind of formal type of conservative. Is that true? Like
a little more traditional. Yeah, that's
traditional,
sort of,
yeah. And then so now it's like this feels just so heart-centered and beautiful and powerful. That what made you make that leap and get into this real amazing creative right brain process?
well, it wasn't intentional in terms of I didn't set out and manifest Bespokle as I manifested something and I kind of fell into it along the way. I had what I wanted to do is I had a family of chocolatiers that were in Connecticut, and I was designing their second home. They had just bought their dream home on a lake house in Connecticut, and they had a very awkward dining room. It was a strange shape. very small with all windows. So there's literally no place to put furniture. And it was the design challenge. So I had decided that the table really needed to be front and center of the room and be something special. And they had a 73-year legacy of their as chocolatiers in Connecticut, incredible chocolatiers. And they're also some of my favorite humans. And so I really wanted to do something special for them. And so I designed this table in collaboration with a woodworker in Connecticut using live wood. They had a more rustic aesthetic. So we did live wood maple and we did black walnut with black walnut inlay and maple inlay on the legs. And then I did an epoxy river, and I did it out of dark chocolate, milk chocolate, white chocolate, and caramel. So we took 4 colors of epoxy that created this beautiful chocolate river running through this highly figured maple tabletop. And then I designed the legs in the letter M, which was their signature brand's letter, and also created the stretcher in an M that we did with the black walnut and the maple. And it was a total surprise. They had no idea what I was doing. I never showed them a picture. They had full trust in me. We have a very close relationship. And I just said, I just want to design something really special for you. And they let me. And so it was fun. Then I filmed them walking in. This moment, it was kind of funny. So, anyways, that was a great success. And then at the same time, I had another client, and very different aesthetic, much more traditional in keeping with that Connecticut look and a softer, prettier look. And he was a big car dealership enterpriser, and very proud of him, his name, and the legacy he was building. And I wanted to do something special for them. But she had a very soft and prettier aesthetic. So I had to then design a table. So I did not do an epoxy river. I just did this incredible maple ambrosia table that was really just stunning. And we did a big extension table for their dining room. And their last name started with W. So then I created a W table, but I did it in a very clean, crisp white dove and did a little maple inlay. And it was beautiful and pretty, and it worked beautifully as well. So then that was sort of a proof of concept without me really intending to have a concept. But after that, I decided I was making people feel good and feel proud, and it resonated with me. And I just said, you know what, I'm going to keep going here. And that was the beginning of Bespokle before Bespokle even had a name. And I just, from there, designed 54 more tables and came up with a name. And then I decided that I should be celebrating brand legacy. So then I started doing some passion projects from some brands that I really follow and love, and designed a few concept tables for those companies. And yeah, so now I'm in talks with a professional sports team, and there might be something there. I've designed a few tables for them. So it's just kind of slowly going, but I literally just launched a month ago today. So
Oh, congratulations. And the formula that you just gave is definitely the manifesting formula. And what I hear you saying is you followed your intuition and you were in a state of service the whole time. Like you're like, they're my favorite people. They're like, I wanted to surprise them. Like you made this all about them. So there's no way it couldn't be magical. Like it just had to be. And just the energy and the love, like I'm sure, like anyone listening, I'm sure you can hear that in Kimberly's voice, is that how much heart she puts into the design, the execution. So I'm curious about that. The other formula for manifestation too is surrounding yourself with amazing people. And so the carpenter, like he or she must be like your other, like your work partner, like your work husband, right? Like, because you
yes.
just must be attached at the hip, and that you really got to share a brain, I would imagine, with your
We
vision.
are, and I am so blessed. He is amazing. He is a former engineer. Well, he's still an engineer, and he works in the aerodynamic industry in addition to being a remarkable craftsman. And because he's an engineer, he's filled his workshop with all the CNCs and all the state of the art Austrian a technology, which is wonderful because it allows me to do some really intricate detailing, particularly for the B2B tables, because those bases are so tricked out with the corporate logos and all the signature detailing that we're trying to put into them, that having his workshop with his equipment and his brain has been such an amazing, partnership and value for me. And he's just a very gifted business person as well. He gets it. So we just kind of align really nicely. And it's been a good partnership in that regard, that I've been able to use him to make these tables. And he helps me bring them to life. He's so much a part of taking my concepts and my drawings and making them a reality. He really is one that can take it and figure out how to build it. And they're so well built and beautifully made that, yeah, it's not just a legacy in terms of the impression, but it is such a legacy in terms of how it's made and what goes into it and the talent and the skill and the technology.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You and I met while we were doing personal development, and we met at a women's retreat. So, how does that happen? That interior designer, entrepreneur, and I know that you were, like you said, this company's been in the works for 18 months. So, that was a year ago. So, what were you doing there?
Well, I think you can understand being an entrepreneur that, it's sometimes a quiet journey, and you have to surround yourself with people who inspire you, who challenge you, who help you and allow you to be the best version of yourself and to believe in yourself. It's sometimes, we need these collaborations and these partnerships when we're by ourselves, especially taking on a brave new venture. So for me, this meeting that we had, this seminar we went to with Patty Aubrey, who is just incredible, really was an eye opener for me because we were surrounded by talented women executives who are all giving their best, but then also we were led by this woman that challenged us and encouraged us, and so I needed a little piece of that in the middle of trying to build this. It was very important for my own personal potential and development. So I'm really glad I invested in myself and gave to myself that week away to discover.
For sure. So, thinking about where you've been, like what lesson would you give to a female entrepreneur who wants to follow their passion and you know they've discovered something like you did within your work and you see the gap and you're like, I can do that. What advice would you give them?
It's funny. It's kind of our mutual connection with Jack Canfield, but he's so right. It's take action every day, even if you don't know what the end line looks like. It's like manifesting, right? You don't know if it's going to come to fruition, but every day you zone in on that board and you just take a few minutes to believe and to internalize it. It's the same thing for me with building Bespokle. It was every single day, even if it was some days it was 5 minutes because I was spread thin with my design business, or whether it was 5 hours or whatever. Every single day I did something. I made some progress, even on Saturdays and Sundays, 7 days a week. I did not take one day off. I always did one thing to move the ball forward. And before I knew it, it was something, but it came from nothing. And it was just a daily discipline to make a difference every day in the life of what this thing was becoming. And I would
Mhm.
probably be my biggest piece of advice, because if you start to try to focus and lead from the finish line, you can get overwhelmed. And it's good to believe from the finish line, but I think it's sometimes better to just take it one day at a time and just keep working and working and working on it, and the finish line will come. And then it's a new finish line, right? Because it never really it's the next benchmark, so but
That's right. That's right. The goalposts keep moving for sure. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
So that's interesting. So thinking about 10 years into the future, or you talked about Oprah, who would be your ideal client? Where do you see yourself? Let's even do 5 years. Let's do 5 years.
I created the monogram, the residential collection, as just a fun thing. It's on an e-commerce platform. There are 56 tables with a bazillion options that you can personalize. And it's sort of its own little entity that I hope will just sort of run and just go. And it's something that I'm marketing to the interior design community and consumer direct. And so I'm trying to build that, grow that, and have that be its own entity. Where some of my passion lies is in the B2B, because every single one of those tables is a one of a kind creation. So it allows the creative in me to really get inspired with every project and create something over the top and just total tricked out and fun and celebratory of whatever that, brand is. So 5 years down the road, I would love to see and know that Bespokle tables are residing in residences and businesses across the country and beyond, perhaps, and that people are taking the time to look at them and remember that they're worth celebrating and that we're all grinding away in our jobs and in our families and trying to make everything work and go forward and go, 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 but to take a few minutes every day to just appreciate, what we're building, what we are, what we stand for, what our values are, is a really beautiful thing that I don't think we do enough of. And so I hope that a Bespokle table is spread around everywhere for people to celebrate themselves and take stock of what they're doing.
For sure, for sure. So a couple things. Right away, what comes to mind is my Porsche dealership needs to have one of your tables, and you know why? Because most car dealerships are all glass, right? So the cars are in the showroom, but the tables, you can see them from all angles. You can see them from whether you're walking behind it, beside it. And so, and even in the parking lot, when you're looking in to the showroom, you can see it. And so I think like, especially companies where it's modern, where it's all glass, where it really, your tables would really stand out and be showcased that
Yeah,
way.
for sure. I
You
mean,
can
we
see it.
do rounds and rectangles, but honestly, we can do anything. I mean, I'm doing a conference table that is, 16 feet long. So, like, we do it all. But what's nice about it is the vantage point, because the bases are all designed in, whether it's the letters or the logos or whatever it is, they're very three-dimensional. So, if you have that vantage point, it's, you get to see just how elaborate they are and
Yeah.
how cool they are.
And I remember with my husband and I, like, we built a couple of homes and we furnished them. And it was hard, very challenging to find good quality new furniture. I mean, I mean, I know I'm speaking to the choir here. You're probably like, you know, um, and even like willing to pay money for it, it was just really challenging. And at least here in Ontario, Canada, the alternative was to have it be made by a carpenter, or like Mennonite furniture, which was really well but built, but it was like a single style. It was more mission style based, like very simple square lines and so forth, which really wasn't my taste. And then the other alternative was to go to antique. And so what I'm thinking about while you're speaking is that it's like the beauty of an antique but with the modern flair, and obviously the family crest or the family, like the legacy piece, and it's a piece that would be passed down.
Right, it is. And that was actually how we designed it, as particularly on the residential side, is, they're so well made. I mean, they're 4-inch solid wood legs. They're made in Connecticut. They're all made just meticulously well. And um, they're made to be heirloom pieces that you can pass down from generation to generation. So, you could have it, your grandchildren could have that table someday, and it could just go down in your lineage. They're made to last. And, some antiques can get a little rickety. These things are not going anywhere. Like I told you, we had a hardcore engineer design all of them, and they are made to, like, they could fly. He's an aerodynamic engineer. They're so well constructed that, yeah, they will last for generations to come. So it truly is a legacy heirloom piece if you choose it to be.
Right. And like my son, who's 30, I know he would love that because he's really proud of his heritage, of his last name. Uh, But I don't think my kids are going to want my antique dining room set. I'm pretty sure nobody wants it. And so, but a piece like that where the name is tied in, there's that sense of pride and legacy and style.
And we also do we have 40-inch, 48-inch, 60-inch on the rounds, and then we have 78, 84, 96 and extensions and what have you on the rectangles, and we can do custom as well. But the 40-inch makes a phenomenal foyer table. So, a lot of times when you have those L-shaped stairwells or you have a large center foyer, they're beautiful as just a simple foyer table that's your initial experience walking into your home, and it's a celebration of your family. It's literally your crest when you walk in the door. So that's another way. If it's not something you want as a dining table, it's an amazing accent piece in your home as well. So there's lots of options. We're having fun.
Very, very cool. So we talked about your work husband. How about your house husband? So where does
How's
he fit into all of this with your business? You're juggling two businesses.
Yes.
So how has that impacted you, both of you, and your life? And yeah, I'm just curious about that.
Well, to make it even more interesting, he's an entrepreneur as well. So
Oh, wow.
we're like the triple threat, right? But
Yeah.
he's my partner and my absolute biggest cheerleader. So I honestly couldn't do this without him. He props me up when I start to go down the doubt machine road, and he encourages me, and he gives me he's got a brilliant creative mind on his own right. So he's really wonderful at giving me great ideas on how to sell and market. That's really his zone of genius. And he's much more of an extrovert than me. So he's also my wingman that I take to events when I don't like working a room and he does. I'm good one on one. So he also balances me in that regard as well. So, yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, definitely tag team
tag
uh,
team.
and he gets that. That's oh, so blessed. Is there anything else that we haven't covered that you want to share about the importance of legacy and um, your lessons learned as a manifester, as a businesswoman?
I think just sort of underscoring again, I hope that through all of this, I just think you get to a certain age where you want to leave a bigger imprint than maybe the one you've left. And while I'm proud of the body of work that I've done over the last 35 years, I wanted to do something more than just making a few pretty spaces every year. I wanted to leave a legacy of my own. And I had to do it in a way that was, authentic to me and worked with the skill sets that I have and the experience that I bring to the table. And this was a result of that. But, I hope that, and I feel in my heart of hearts that there is a movement going on with all of these thought leaders that are talking about it, in addition to everybody out there, on the ground trying to create products and create services that and remind people to value their authentic selves and to be their authentic selves and to dream their own dreams and to manifest their own lives and to lead their own lives. So I hope that I'm a part of that wave, and I hope that we all get there, as a collective by encouraging each other and giving to each other. And this is just the way that I'm doing it, but there's just a nice tide turning, in my opinion, and it's exciting to see us collectively start to all shift towards the inside rather than all that external. How do I feel bad about myself today? Type routine. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's my hope. That's what this is all about. And I think there are a lot of amazing people like you, Debbie, who are developing their own companies and brands that are supporting the same equal mission.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so glad that we've met. And I did, by the way, so I knew I was coming on this podcast and recording, and I was like, man, if she has to tell me again to order that book, and I haven't. So, by the way, I ordered it before we got on this recording. So it's on its way from
No,
Amazon.
I feel like I'm an Jamie ambassador.
Oh, there you go. So dare to declare it. So she definitely could be on the top of your list.
Yeah.
for having one of your tables. Wouldn't that be amazing?
I know. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah, dare to declare it. So how can people get a hold of you to see your products, to learn more about you and your mission?
So I'm sure you'll put this in the show notes, but
Mhm.
website obviously is www.bespokle.co. I would love it if you would come to Instagram, which is at Bespokle, and follow. And then if you DM me your email address, I will send you out. I've made sort of a PDF, which is kind of like a questionnaire that I use with my clients that helps to really crystallize and get into what resonates with them on a much more authentic level than just the basics. And I've created a version of it that I can share with your listening audience if they choose to, that will help them answer some important questions for themselves so that they can try to fine tune some of their decisions and really make those smart choices for themselves that creates a home, a habitat, and a sacred space for them. So if you DM me on Instagram, I will send that PDF off to you, and I'll even, if you want, add you to my list of email newsletters that I'll be sending out pretty regularly. And then you can opt out if you don't want to hear from me anymore.
Okay, we got to work on that part.
Well,
We're
we're all
all in the mastermind together, and yeah, the social media piece and the selling piece. All right, so this lady is so humble and but so talented. So you'll want to stay on her email list because she's going to keep adding value to your life with all of her knowledge and just inspiration. Like I don't know, like I'm able to see her here as we're talking, but even just listening to your voice, it's so warm. It's like getting a friendly hug, and yeah, so people will want to be in your community. So thanks for being here, Kimberly. This
Thanks,
was
Megan.
awesome. I adore you. And I can't wait to see if you can do this in 18 months, a year from now, what we're going to have to catch up and do
Yeah, we'll
another.
do round two.
All right.
Thanks.
Everyone, take care. Take care of you. Cheers.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Today, we've delved into the realm of manifesting giants, exploring the power of declaring our desires to the universe with unapologetic boldness. But before we bid adieu, I have a little something special to share with all of you dreamers out there. Introducing the Dare to Declare Vision Board magazine and online DIY Vision Board course, your ticket to manifesting greatness in style. Picture this: flipping through pages filled with inspiring images, empowering quotes, and step-by-step guides to help you create the vision board of your dreams. Whether you're yearning for that spacious condo with a view, or a love that sets your soul on fire, our magazine is here to guide you every step of the way. Dive deep into the art of manifesting with our exclusive online DIY vision board course. Led by manifesting expert, yes, yours truly, and seasoned dreamers, this course will teach you the ins and outs of creating a vision board that speaks to your heart and soul. So what are you waiting for? Join the ranks of the manifesting giants and dare to declare your wildest dreams to the universe. Head over to our website, debbiesluice.com, and grab your copy of the Dare to Declare Vision Board magazine and enroll in our online DIY Vision Board course today. Until next time, keep dreaming big and daring to declare, because in the world of manifesting, the sky's the limit.